Hi, everyone. Just a reminder, please make sure that as you go through and complete these notes, you do so in a way that makes it clear and you scan and upload before the deadline. Just a reminder, remember you want to make sure that those notes get uploaded in one single file. And if you have trouble with that, please come by office hours or talk to a tutor or somebody in the Math Centers so we can make sure that you get full credit for your notes. Now here I actually have us starting off in this video with runoff voting. We may have already covered it in class. If so, you can just include those notes from class. You don't need to go through and include these, but it might be a nice reminder too. Runoff voting is something that we use when there's no obvious winner of our specific method that we have already discussed. That's usually the majority or the plurality methods, right? The majority being somebody got more than half the votes, and the plurality being somebody got the most votes. Remember, people can tie, or you may just have so many candidates, nobody got more than half. So there's several different types of runoff voting. If you only have two candidates, you may still end up with nobody getting more than half if they both evenly get half. So runoff voting also is not guaranteed to get you a winner. And there are different layers of runoff voting, so we could do it multiple times if we need to, okay? So the two common ways to do runoff voting is to only take the top two or three candidates to do another round. So only a few options for another round. Okay. Or we could have it so that you drop the few candidates with the fewest votes. So only a few are eliminated, meaning you still have quite a few candidates to go for. Okay, so when you're determining a winner by the majority or the plurality, remember majority meaning they got more than half, plurality meaning they got the most, got the most. The first thing that we're going to do every single time is we are going to tally up and find out how many voters there were. Find the total number of voters. Okay. Then number two, you figure out who voted for the candidate in the first place. So let's put count the number of first place votes for each candidate. Okay. Then number three, you're going to apply the rules for majority or plurality to see if anybody won. Check if anyone / any candidate won. If not, runoff. Form a runoff. Okay. Step 4 is to repeat steps 1 through 3 until you end up in either a tie or no winner or a winner. Repeat steps 1 to 3 until winner. Only 2 candidates in a tie. Or you could have 2 candidates who tied for 50-50 and then still no winner. Okay. No winner, but 2 candidates only. 2 candidates. Okay, so let's check out this example here about a wedding dinner. So what we might need a runoff vote, okay? And if we do, we'll have to decide how we're going to pick the options that go forward. Okay, that's usually decided ahead of time. Like right now, we'll say, ooh, if we need a runoff, we'll only take the top 2 or 3. Otherwise, we could say, ooh, if we need a runoff, drop the lowest. Okay, so if runoff, drop lowest option. Now, this ballot right here for these voters may look a little bit strange. To remind ourselves what's going on here is that these numbers here in next to our different candidates. So here are candidates, right? Our candidates are, we could have the dinner at Olive Garden, Mountain Mike's, Cool Hand Luke's, or Urban Cafe. Okay. The numbers that we see next to each of those are their places. Okay, so the places for the vote. Obviously, first place is best, right? First place is your top choice, okay? Then these numbers up here are the number of voters slash ballots for those specific list of choices, okay? So now, again, the very first thing we need to do is find our total number of voters. I'm going to go ahead and bring up my calculator. Please make sure that you have ClassCalc downloaded on your phone because that's what you're going to be able to use for quizzes and any sort of activities in class quickly and easily. So 7 plus 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 8 plus 10 plus 2 plus 10. What I've done is I went ahead and I looked at the number of ballots, the number of voters for each of those options, and I tallied those up. So our total number of voters is 50. There's 50 voters. 50 voters. Okay, that makes sense. The big wedding might have 50 people you're trying to please. Now, over here, you're going to see a little 50% plus. That's how many it takes to win the majority. Majority needed. And let's see. Now, the problem is if I take this 50% and I perfectly cut it in half, I get an even 25. But remember, to win the majority, you need one more than that. So I'm going to put in brackets 25 plus, which means we need 26 votes to win the majority. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to tally up the number of first places for Olive Garden. Ooh, that's supposed to say Olive Garden. You can fix that. Olive Garden. Okay, so Olive Garden up here, let's see. So Olive Garden, aha! For these 7 voters, it was a first place. Okay, let's see if Olive Garden got any other first places. Aha! For these 8 voters, Olive Garden also got first place. Okay, looks like those are the only 2 times Olive Garden got a first place. So what we need is Olive Garden got 7 first places plus 8 more first places, which is 15. Let me just double check. 7 plus 8, 15. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it for Mountain Mike. Let's see if Mountain Mike's got any first place votes. So Mountain Mike's, aha, these 5 voters picked Mountain Mike's for their first place, and these 10 voters picked Mountain Mike's for first place. And so 5 plus 10 is also 15. Ooh, right now we're tied. We're tied for first with Olive Garden and Mountain Mike's. Okay, next, again, we're going to do the same thing for Cool Hand Luke's. Let's see if Cool Hand Luke's, let's see, got a first place for these 10 voters, but it looks like those are the only first places that Cool Hand Luke got. So Cool Hand Luke's got 10 votes. And last but certainly not least, Urban Cafe. Urban Cafe, ooh, a couple of times Urban Cafe. Let's see, that's 3 different times. Urban Cafe got first place. That's 4 voters that time, 4 voters that time, and 2 voters that time, 8, 9, 10. Aha, that's 10 first place votes for Urban Cafe. Oh my goodness. We have a tie for first and we have a tie for last. Okay, so Cool Hand Luke's and Urban Cafe got 10s, Olive Garden and Mountain Mike's got 15s. So we need a runoff. We need a runoff. Now, what's really great about a preference ballot is that when I go ahead and I take off Cool Hand Luke's because it's not allowed anymore, and I take off Urban Cafe because it's not allowed anymore, what we can do is go into that preference ballot and see who would be the new first place. if there wasn't Cool Hand Luke's and there wasn't Urban Cafe. So for these four voters right now, we have taken off Urban Cafe and we have taken off Cool Hand Luke's, which means Olive Garden wins the new first place and Mountain Mike's wins the new second place. How did I know that? Because beforehand, I can see that the 2 was higher than the 3. Okay? So I'm going to do that right here again. First place, second place. Oh, here we have first place, second place. And then between 3 and 4, we have first place, second place. Okay, so what I've done is I've gone through and I found the new first places. All right, now that also changed the first places for the Olive Garden and the Mountain Mike's, right? So this got eliminated, this got eliminated. And now what I'm doing is I'm going through and I'm looking for who won if we are only allowing Olive Garden and Mountain Mike's. Okay, so let's double check. Olive Garden and Mountain Mike's. Mountain Mike's. It may still be a tie. Still got to go through and do it, okay? So let's see. I'm going to pick a new highlighter color here. I kind of used a lot of them. Let's do this bright blue highlighter. Okay, so Olive Garden. Olive Garden has a first place here, a first place here, a first place here, a first place here, a first place here. Okay, so Olive Garden has a lot of first places. Let's see, Olive Garden has 7 plus 4 plus 4 plus 8 plus 10 first places. And I'm going to go ahead, 7 plus 4 plus 4 plus 8 plus 10 more people voted for that. Aha, 33. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have to go any further. Because I already know you only needed 26 to get the majority, and we just got a 33 for Olive Garden, we know they win the majority. Because I want to be complete about this, though, I actually am going to just double check and count up Mountain Mike's. So for Mountain Mike's, let's get maybe a bright lemon. There we go. For Mountain Mike's, we have these 5, these 2, and these 10. So let's see. 5 plus 2 plus 10 is only 17, and we can clearly see that Olive Garden wins for the wedding dinner. Okay, so Olive Garden is voted for the wedding dinner. All right. Again, that's using a majority or plurality method with runoff if you need to. Okay. Make sure that you're ready for class. We're going to have some questions similar to this on our quiz and possibly our activities. So if you do have more questions, please, please, please come by early. Let's get those taken care of before class. Now, ranked choice voting, okay, now is actually something we've already been looking at, where you rank your choices. You rank your choices, okay? The preference ranking above creates what's called a preference ballot, as already mentioned, okay? Also called a preference table. Occasionally, some books might call it a rank table or a placement table. Those are the two wow, I can spell preference. No, I can't. Let's try that again. Reference table. Preference table. There we go. Sorry about that. Preference table. Okay. So again, there's some different ways we can actually pick a winner based on a preference table. The usual method for really quick voting is majority or plurality, but you could also say something like, instead of just who got the most first places, who got the most first or second places? Who got the most first or second places? Or what I often like to look at too is who got the fewest last places? Who got fewest last places. Okay. So in class, what you're going to do is you're going to come in. We're actually going to save this example right here. We're going to complete it very similarly to what we just did, but we will use the two new rules for ranked choice voting right up above. Okay. We're going to complete that in class. Okay. In class. All right. Now let's get on to what I kind of consider a little bit more of a heavier beast, a heavier example called Borda count voting. Now, Borda count voting will actually use every single place that a specific candidate got in every single vote. Every single place will be worth points. Obviously, more points for a better place like first or second, fewer points for lower places. Okay, so we're gonna do the board account method by assigning points for each rank, and then we're going to tally up for every single candidate. Okay, now this does take a little bit of organization and a little bit of time. Please make sure that you're clear with your writing on this. Okay, so let's say a group is voting on the best color. This should feel kind of familiar. I thought it'd be kind of funny. We voted in class. Okay, now I see that we have the options of red, blue, green, yellow, purple, or pink. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute and we are going to review in class who wins the majority and who wins the plurality, if anyone. Okay, but for board account method, I see first off, we still have our number of voters here across the top. We still have our places here. But I want to change each of these places. Like red came in second place for those 4 voters. I want to change that second place into points. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to count up how many candidates we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candidates. If there are 6 candidates, then 6 candidates, then that means that first place is going to get 6 points. First place equals 6 points. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go into my rank ballot and I'm going to be very, very careful. I'm going to change every single first place into a 6 points. First place into a 6 points, first place into a 6 points, first place into 6 points. Okay, now I'm gonna know that my points are the second number represented, and I'm gonna very clearly mark out that placement when I do, so I don't get the 2 numbers confused. Second place is gonna be 1 less, is gonna be 5 points. I hope that feels very logical. So let's see, 5 points, 5 points, 5 points, and 5 points. Third place is going to be 4 points. Let's see, third place. Here's a third place, that's 4 points. 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 Then we need fourth place. Again, over to the side, I'm very clear about labeling. Is going to be 3 points. Please be careful on the homework. Make sure you're reviewing this as it goes. In the textbook, they actually will use a different way to assign the points, but the numbers will still work out the same at the end. Okay, not the numbers, I'm sorry, the winners will still work out the same. So fourth place, let's see, 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, 3 points. Fifth place is only 2 points. And sixth place will be 1 point. Okay, so fifth place will be 2, 2, 2, and 2. And sixth place will be 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, and 1 point. So what I've done is I've effectively taken our ranked choice ballot and I've turned it into a points ballot. Okay, now here's where it gets a little bit tricky with the tallying. For the option red, right here, I can see that they get 5 points, but not just one time, 4 times. And then they get 1 point 6 times, 5 points 4 times, and 2 points 7 times. Okay, so I have to use that number of ballots, that top number, every single time I do a tally. And the way I'm going to write this down very clearly is I'm going to say red is going to get 5 points. Oops, let's do that right. 5 points 4 times. Okay, then they're going to get 1 point 6 times, 5 points 4 times, and 2 points 7 times. Okay, which is often why you hear multiplication called times. All right, let's go ahead. Let's bring back up our calculator. And let's tally up for red. Let's see how much red gets. So 5 parentheses 4 works just the same. Make sure you put the plus though, as 1 times 6 plus 5 times 4 plus 2 times 7. And you see I used a little mix of the times and the parentheses. Your calculator knows to do both of those as a times, okay? So there's 60 points for the red option. Now let's go through and let's talk about the blue option. So blue, let's see. Well, I know that blue is going to get 6 points 4 times, 5 points 6 times, 6 points 4 times, and 3 points 7 times. Okay, so I'm going to use those numbers now. And I'm going to get 6 points 4 times, 5 points 6 times, 6 points 4 times, plus 3 points 7 times. Okay. You'll notice that the numbers inside the parentheses are going to stay the same, and the numbers outside the parentheses are going to be the points. Okay, so let's see how blue does. 6, 4, 5.6 times, 6 points 4 times. 3.7 times, and we get 99 points for blue. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay, please take a minute and tally up for the other candidates, green, yellow, purple, and pink. Please be sure to pause the video and make sure that you're clearly writing out the different points for each of the options before you continue on the video. So if I put everything into my calculator correctly and making sure that I have my points and my number of ballots, aka number of times those points, all lined up, it looks like we have a Borda count winner of, let's see, looking at that, 99 points gives us blue as the winner. So over here to the side, I'm going to go ahead and write out that blue wins the Borda vote. Or you could say Borda count vote, just to make it extra super clear. Okay? In terms of how much time it takes to do these different methods, Borda definitely takes a long time, but as we can see, it takes every single vote, every single place into account, which is really great because you can't have a winner who gets a lot of first places and last places. Those people will actually lose to somebody who gets a lot of like second or third places consistently. So it eliminates or counteracts what's called a decisive candidate, where they're like first for a lot of people but last for a lot of people. Those won't win as long as you're like second choice for everybody. So that's what's really cool about the board count method. Please practice this. Make sure you check out that homework and you do a couple of those. It will take a few minutes to get used to setting up the system every time. Make sure you're writing out your work clearly and you upload your notes in a clear single file so that you get full credit before class. And I'll see you in class. Have a great day.